And welcome back to Auto Social UK. My name's Tish and thank you so much for tuning in for another review. On this week's video we're going to be reviewing the Vauxhall Grandland X, specifically the hybrid model. However, I am going to touch on the other engines that Vauxhall do in the Grandland, as I think this is a great family car, but perhaps the hybrid isn't going to be for everyone. Now, I know that you guys from your feedback like it when I put my personal opinions in on cars, and sometimes that's difficult because I don't get a huge amount of time to spend with them, so I have to top up with a little bit of research. However, with this car, I've just spent the past week taking this baby on holiday with me to Devon, so it's been a great experience to be able to get my actual thoughts and feelings on the Grandland X Hybrid. Now, if you've been with this channel for a little while, you'll know that I'm an advocate for the small engine SUVs. I even convinced my mum to get a 1 litre T-Roc. However, what I didn't take into consideration is perhaps not all terrains are fit for the small engine SUVs. For example, climbing those hills in Devon, it definitely paid off to have a larger engine hybrid 4x4. And that really did make living with this car much easier. I think if I'd been in a smaller engine car, I might have slightly struggled. So perhaps that's brought my thinking round to one, it is needed to have a slightly bigger engine. So let's start with the looks and styling of Vauxhall's largest SUV. Now, the model that I have here is the very high spec hybrid model, so it does get lots of nice extras like some larger wheels. But in all of the Grandlands are actually quite highly customisable. In this one it's finished in white with a contrasting black roof. But one option you can get on the Grandland is also to have a different coloured bonnet, which I think stands the Grandland aside from anything else on the road. This range-topping Elite nav gets 19-inch bi-colour alloys. A front camera under the badge aids driver assistance technology and offers a 360 aerial parking camera, which makes parking the Grandland a doddle. LED daytime running lights come on standard on all models, and this one features auto lights and high beam assist. You can tell when designing the Grandland X, practicality has been at the forefront of Vauxhall's mind, and that means living with this car is super simple and travelling is even better. For a start, it has keyless entry, so no need to use the key fob. As long as it's in your bag, it will open up the car. And then there's opening the boot. You can do that one of 3 ways. So you can simply do it on the key by holding down the button. You can do it on the car as you normally would by pressing it, and it does also have gesture control as well. So when loading up this car, when you've got your hands full of luggage, it's really simple. And then to close it again, you simply press the button. Boot volume is just under 400 litres in the hybrid, as you do lose some underfloor storage to make way for the new rear axle and electric motor. But that being said, it's still large enough for a couple of suitcases and carry-ons. The petrol and diesel model rises to 514 litres. The range-topping Ultimate Nav Hybrid 4 gets full leather seats as well as a very high-quality interior, including lots of soft feel leather and piano black gloss. Specification includes, but is not limited to, sat-nav, dual-zone climate control, a premium sound system, automatic dynamic cornering lights, and lots of practical storage. Space in the rear is very good and it's competitive to other cars in the class. This being the hybrid model, one of the electric motors is actually under these rear seats, but despite that it doesn't eat into any of the space in the back here. You've also got a pull-out section with your cup holders, and then behind there is also a ski hatch. As you can see, I've got plenty of headroom and plenty of legroom. Perhaps there are bigger cars like the Volkswagen Tiguan for carrying 3 adults, but for 3 children, it's more than enough. Inside is where the Grandland X really does take all of the stress out of driving. These seats are super comfortable on long journeys, and there's loads of adjustability for both the driver and the passenger, which is electric for both. There is tons of driver assistance, including adaptive cruise control and the ability to set how far you sit behind the car in front, which is really helpful if you're in certain areas where you need to keep a larger distance. It also has lane assist, which you can switch on and off. And I love this about the lane assist in the Grandland, and I think that this is super clever and something perhaps only I would notice after driving lots of cars. And that's the fact that if you turn it on or off, it stays on or off, regardless of whether you leave the car. So that means that you're not constantly having to turn the lane assist off every time you get in. And when you want to use it for long journeys, you simply have to pop it on. So let's talk about the engine on the Hybrid 4, because those figures on the side of the car are pretty impressive. This car has a 1.6 litre petrol engine, and then it actually has not one but two electric motors, one in the front and one in the rear. When combined, this car has a brake horsepower of just under 300, and it's actually quicker to the mark than the Golf GTI, with a 0 to 62 time of 5.9 seconds. The plug-in hybrid motor will get you around 35 miles of full electric. A 3.7 kilowatt charger comes as standard, but choose the optional 7.4 kilowatt charger and you'll get a full charge from an at-home wall box in under 2 hours. Other engines in the lineup are a 1.2 litre 130 horsepower petrol engine and a 1.5 litre 130 brake horsepower diesel. Both claim to get in excess of 50 miles per gallon. In general, the 8-speed automatic gearbox is very good, especially when you've got some of that electric ready to go, because when you're waiting to pull out on a junction or if you need to take over someone to get out of danger, it really does kick in really quickly and give you that oomph when you need it. However, if you're running low on electric and haven't quite gained any from your regenerative braking, then it can be slightly slow to pick up. If we try it now and I pop my foot down, there's a real delay until that standard petrol engine kicks in. This car comes with 4 different driving modes. So you've got the first, which is your full electric mode, the second, which is your hybrid, which uses a combination of your electric motors and also your petrol engine. You then have a sport mode, which stiffens the suspension and of course increases the throttle response. And then lastly, you also have a 4-wheel drive option. The 4-wheel drive mode ensures all 4 wheels are driven at all times, through a combination of petrol power and electricity. Petrol and diesel models do not get the 4x4 but can be specced up with Intel grip, adaptive traction, ensuring the vehicle always stays stable on any surface. Overall, I found the drive to be very comfortable. It's super smooth on motorways, and even on those lumpy bumpy back roads, it does absorb a lot of the lumps and bumps to give you a real smooth ride. However, one thing I would say is that the steering is slightly bellowy if you're going around tight corners, but then this car isn't designed to be a sports car. It might have that 300 brake horsepower that makes you want to throw it into corners, but that's not really what it's there for. It's mostly there to get you out of trouble and to make sure that it really pulls its weight on the motorway. Now, anyone that knows me knows that one of my absolute favourite things about any car is having heated seats. It's something that I wanted in my up, and it's something that I feel like now I've had company cars, I could never go back to not having heated seats. Well, the Grandland X Hybrid top model goes one up. It's actually also got cooled seats, which is unbelievable when you get in and you know when you're a little bit stressed, a little bit hot, put your cooled seats on, instantly you feel loads better. The Grandland X Hybrid, as well as all other models, do come standard with Apple CarPlay, which is fantastic when you want to use your sat-nav or when you'd like to use your music. I did also notice that there is a USB behind you as well, and when you plug your phone into that, you can both use the Apple CarPlay and play music on both. This top spec hybrid model might come with quite a hefty price tag, But it also gets a very good benefit incline, which makes it very good for company car drivers, and that includes a 10% saving this tax year, thanks to the CO2 emissions of 34 grams per kilometre and zero emissions range of 35 miles. So overall, it's been an absolute pleasure to spend time with the Grandland X Hybrid. Which engine I would go for would completely depend on what type of drive I'm doing. If it's a short commute to work and back, but you still want the extra mileage when you want to go on holiday, then I would definitely opt for the hybrid, as it's a great option with loads of power. However, if you're just doing short commutes, I'd probably opt for the smaller 1.2 litre petrol to get you better fuel economy for when you're not doing those electric miles. And lastly, if I'm going to be doing lots of miles and if I'm going to be climbing those hills of Devon, I'd probably opt for the diesel engine paired with the 8-speed automatic, and I'd also probably opt for grip control for perfect combination of that practicality and also power and grip. Thank you so much for watching this video, and obviously a massive shout out to Quest Motor Group for lending me the Grandland Hybrid. If you wanted any information on any of the Grandland X's in the range, we've got some huge deals here at Quest Motor Group, so make sure you click the link below to check them out. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, as ever, please give this video a massive like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.